Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And today, I think we have a rather interesting update because, well, Bitcoin has been doing quite amazing over the last couple of days. It's left a lot of people wondering what my opinion on the market is and what I think is about to happen. So today, we'll talk a little bit more about the price while also giving you guys a ton of news. But first, I want you guys to comment down below. Do you think that Bitcoin slash XRP and whatever will still make an all-time high this year? Yes or no, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you're looking for a platform to trade, Bybit right now has up to $1,600 worth of free bonuses, so you might as well check it out right now. Alright, so talking about Bitcoin, there's definitely one thing which really comes to mind right now, which is the tremendous rise over the last couple of days. Nobody, and I mean nobody, has been able to point out exactly why this is happening. There is no Elon Musk or real China situation like we've been talking about with the dump, and I would say that it's basically just people coming back in and coming back to their senses, knowing that crypto is not about to be gone forever, and rather having some Bitcoin than not having some, and so, selling is not the best idea. One thing we've also stated before via some of our analytics platforms is showcasing and noticing that whales are picking up Bitcoin like crazy, and that there's a ton of Bitcoin getting swept off exchanges for these people to hold on dearly. Now, if we're talking about the price right now, we're seeing two things which I think are rather interesting. Right here we can see that there was a death cross a couple of weeks ago on about the 23rd of June. And as you can clearly see here, as the prices have started to increase quite drastically, we are actually quickly shifting back into a golden cross quite soon if the price acts as if it's been doing for the last couple of days, basically. So if we continue with the momentum for right now, since we've been going downhill for I think about 90 days or so. Let's quickly check it out, guys. We've been going downhill for about 97 days. The golden cross is basically the 50-day moving average going above the 200-day moving average, meaning the short-term price is doing better than long-term. Right now, we've already been going up for, let's quickly see it here, guys. We've already been going up for about, let's see here, about, let's say 9 to 11 days. There's a really good chance that within, let's say, about a week and a half, depending on how crazy the price surges, we're going to see another golden cross here. It's really that crazy, but that's because the price spiked quite significantly over the last couple of days. Don't forget, guys, that these moves are huge if you're talking about Bitcoin. We've already gone up about 46% in just the last 8-9 days or so, which is definitely quite crazy. But there's two, I guess, other things which are quite interesting. One is the general trend. We can clearly see for Bitcoin that we've been going downhill for a little while, making lower highs and I guess also lower lows. And what those look like is, let me quickly grab a little pencil here. What that basically looks like is a top with a bottom, a top with a bottom, a potential top with a bottom, I guess. You might also draw one more here or draw this bottom instead of this one right here. But you guys hopefully get the idea. And basically this right here was the last bottom before making a high, which is right here. That's basically at a different level. So first of all, we were going along this trend, right, of making lower highs. We're first high, second high, third high, basically, and well, potentially a fourth somewhere through the midst. Now, this is the first time we basically crossed above a previous level, which is extremely bullish because that's, again, where you start to see a bullish trend. And even though we cannot really draw any beautiful trend lines just quite yet because, well, we need to see where exactly the low is going to be, right now we're considering this our first low, this our first high of the new uptrend, if you want to call it that way. Still within a bull market, but smaller down and upwards trends, and most likely, for example, correcting to some unknown level. Maybe, for example, the 50 EMA right over here, maybe our previous high at the I guess $40,000 mark. Not really that clear exactly where we're going to head towards, but I would say as long as we are closing above $30,000 over the next couple of days and then making another high above about 42.5 thousand, it's going to be extremely bullish for Bitcoin, and that's basically what we can also kind of bet on already, that that's going to be the current situation. Now, one thing that a lot of people were pointing out is that the monthly just closed and that it's all been so bullish for Bitcoin. I don't really want to put it that way, except for saying, yeah, they're completely right. There's absolutely no other way that we can see this right now. This was an extremely bullish move for Bitcoin, and I can only say that I am extremely excited about the near future, as right now we're correcting a little bit, but as you've most likely seen from zooming in, that's all part of the bigger plan, as we are just now correcting a little bit above the trend line, and it's going to depend on the recent moves of Bitcoin. Now, there's two other things I want to quickly tell you guys. One is that there's one little I guess I should call it a theory by people, where Bitcoin has never been in a real bear run. If you look, for example, at the weekly perspective of Bitcoin, and you draw it, for example, on an exponential scale, which a lot of people like to do, we can also just, for example, look at it like, I guess like this, it also works though. Depending on how you view it, you can actually say that Bitcoin has never really been in a bearish market, because where exactly would it have been? Are you considering this area to be bearish? Well, yes, but also kind of no. I mean, the area itself was bearish, but does it constitute as a bear market? Some people say yes, some people say no. Where exactly did it end though? Did it end right here? Was this a bullish cycle? Was this a bull market? Or how does it work? The reason I'm saying this is a big debate and it's quite difficult is, first of all, dependent on your view. So depending on what way you're watching it, that's one little example of things. It clearly depends a lot on your view, but it also, as we've explained before, totally and completely depends on how you view cycles. And since Bitcoin is this instrument which has only been here for about 12 years, people don't really know exactly what is a real bear market, what is a real bull market, because they're not the same as stocks. Stocks inherently are way less volatile, and so even if you want to call out currencies, the traditional ones, they're just really different than the cryptocurrencies which we have right here. And so are we then, for example, saying, okay, this area right here, bull market, this area right here, bear market, this area right here, bull market, this area right here, bear market, this area right here, for example, bull market, and then now again bear market, up to, for example, this point? Or is this, for example, still part of the bull market? Where exactly do you draw the line? People every single day are making trouble about this one, because it is nearly impossible to make up the right opinion about what is right and what is wrong. It's so extremely difficult, guys. Take it from me here. A lot of people don't know exactly what to say about the situation. And I understand, firmly understand why. It's really difficult, right? It's really difficult. We got a huge green candle though here, guys, on the monthly, on the weekly, on every single part of that. So things are looking as if they're recovering. And even from a monthly perspective here, it all just looks like these were the first couple of years of kind of finding its place. Right now, a first kind of surge getting into it, and just kind of continuing on with the same type of pace we've seen before. Which is just bullishness straight up from here. Just a good correction. Some people are pointing out, oh, okay, the Fibonacci, I don't really believe in that. Personally, I'm going to say that the price action is, or the technical analysis is, less important than the general news and the gist of the news that regulations are coming. The IRS wants a piece, and so right now things are going to be pumping up a little bit before it's going to get worse, before it's ultimately going to be getting better. A couple of things I shared over on Twitter were, for example, this. Crypto organizations say $28 billion tax plan in Senate infrastructure bill poses an imminent threat to the industry. I mean, understandable. How can you not understand that one? Here was, I see mosquito. I'm going to get after him later. Bad for Bitcoin. Congressman Warren Davidson blasts last-minute crypto tax insertion in infrastructure bill. People aren't really happy about this one. And by the way, if you want these stories shared a little bit earlier, make sure you follow me over on Twitter. I try to share as many articles as I can over on there so you guys can enjoy them a little bit before I make a video about them. So, yeah. Then, I guess there's a couple other things. For example, Germany's new crypto law comes into effect August 2nd. Germany enables institutional investors to hold crypto. This move could lead to accepting Bitcoin and altcoins within the country's pension funds, and the country will see further enhancements in crypto and blockchain sectors in the future. It basically all boiled down to they're getting more adoption, and even though some of these things might be short-term negative, short-term bad, longer-term, the majority of them, if not all of them, are actually good. And whatever way you want to kind of throw the ball at, or whatever way you want to roll the ball, it has to happen. Regulations need to come. Taxes need to come. Institutions all need to be able to buy, and institutions/banks all need to be adoptive of it. Are true Bitcoin maximalists happy with the banks, for example, adopting Bitcoin? No, not really. Because if banks adopt it, you know there's going to be a lot more manipulation, and you know they'll make the bills in such a way where the official freedom is limited. And they'll make it more and more that way. For example, right now, one big issue that's being brought up is how to properly KYC decentralized exchanges. But the fun fact is that decentralized exchanges are literally made for the purpose that no KYC is necessary. And so KYCing an area, which is know your customer, sending your ID over and whatnot, KYCing in such an area is a thing that the government would want to do. And the more that those big players participate, the more they're going to be involved with all that, the more they want to join, the more they want to know. And the more difficult it's going to get to see exactly what crypto should be valued at. For example, running a node, how are they going to tax that one? That's a difficult little story. How is it going to work, right? There's going to be some solutions for every single part eventually, I guess. But that was it for today's video. Those are just a couple of points specifically for Bitcoin because I thought it was interesting. One thing I noticed as well is that DOT was performing crazy. But I'm going to have to do some research and then get back to you guys on this one to explain really what is going on with DOT. I haven't looked into it. I just saw the crazy gains. I wanted to quickly report on that one. Just that it's happening. But why exactly, I do not yet know.